Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I'm going to share with you a clip from a recent live event with me and Jim Morgan talking on Splinterlands TV. There is no cameras while we're talking during this one. It's just audio, but you're going to hear me responding to a question from the community around overcoming suffering. The question was actually, he was asking me about how I've been scammed in crypto before, because I have. And he was asking whether that was a learning experience and what I took away from that. And it gets me down this whole rabbit hole of philosophy and theology. So I definitely think this is important because this is the sort of mindset that I actually bring to both crypto and life. And I hope it's valuable to you in sort of preparing your heart for when difficult times come, because difficult times always come for every one of us at some point. So I hope this is an encouragement. And guys, thanks so much for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless. Rav has another question. He said, Dwayne, what do you think of the value of getting scammed and learning from that? That's a cool question. I think once you do, you get more quote unquote rational if you learn from it. Yeah, I think that's really, that's a wise thing to say. I really believe what you're saying is accurate. There's something to be learned in challenge, right? Like there's deep philosophical and theological kind of roots in this idea, right? Like suffering produces maturation. And I think we know this to be true from our own personal experience. And this is something that's been passed down for generations in like deep philosophical roots and theological roots because it's been so proven almost. But you know what's interesting, I think everybody here knows that I have a daughter who has a terminal illness, and she has seizures, meaning like she has epilepsy. She also has to, she's has a muscular dystrophy, which means she can't control her muscles in the same way like an average 6-year-old does. So there's a lot of things that she doesn't get to enjoy that, you know, you or I or our children will. And in one sense, people often say when they see my girl and I tell them she has seizures, they often say, "Aw, that's like that sympathy, that empathy." And interestingly, I've noticed from my relationship with my daughter, Lumina, that's her name, that it has taught me, she has taught me, God has taught me through her that, that there's an opportunity for, first of all, there's an opportunity for great joy, even in the middle of difficult situations. And difficult situations will make you stronger and help you recognize the importance of that moment. So like whether you get roasted from like a scam, like the question was alluding to, or whether you have this challenge where your child or your wife or your you know someone you love is ill, or yourself, or you get fired, like whatever the challenge is, I really believe if you can kind of get through that. And that's the question. That's maybe the big question. If you can manage to march through it and make one foot in the front of the other while you're walking through that process, you're ultimately going to take something so significant. And for me, it was like, wow, here meeting Lumina, realizing her condition, it pulled back a veil for me where I had been thinking that my other daughter, Hazel, was going to live to be, you know, 70, 80 years old, have kids, you know, have a perfect life and be all these things that you imagine. And then I was like, oh, none of that's promised. And so there's this great difficulty that I wouldn't wish for anybody, but it's been amazing. Lumina's amazing. I don't wish Lumina was different. I wish, you know, on one hand, I wish she didn't have these things, but on the other hand, it's like, it is who she is. And I love her. And it's like, so you begin to recognize that there can be love and joy and victory in like some real difficulty. And the same when I got scammed, and the same when you guys go through something. It's like, there is definitely stuff that you can learn and work through and grow out of all of that. So great question. And I feel super strong about this because I have learned through Lumina that, oh yeah, she has challenges and people will say, "Aw," But the thing is, we all have challenges, and it's interesting how we think someone in a wheelchair has quote unquote more challenge. The truth, the real thing is, like, we have certain perceptions about what kind of victory or like strength looks like, and I don't think God looks at us like that. Like if you can speak, eloquently, or if you are strong or handsome, I don't think that, like, if God exists, that he would look at those things and be like, yeah, that kid is special. He looks at somebody like Lumina and somebody like you and something like me, and it's like, oh, this is who I made them to be. And that is beautiful in a certain way, in a certain moment, for a certain purpose. And that is kind of really hopeful too. So anyways, deep kind of theological but philosophical waters there. Great question.
Oh, I'm not crying. You're crying.